In how is it going, everyone? Welcome to F-Zero Maximum Velocity, the first Game Boy Advance F-Zero game, and well, a game that doesn't have any of the previous machines. Like, my idea was doing like a marathon with the golden thoughts, but there is no golden thoughts in this game. However, according to Nintendo Power, one of the machines in this game was made by, well, Dr. Stewart, the pilot of the Golden Thoughts, which apparently is this one, the Silver Thunder. Problem is that the machine is exactly the opposite of what the Golden Thoughts is. It's a low acceleration, high top speed, high resistance, bad turning machine, which has absolutely nothing to do with how the Golden Thoughts is, but hey, according to Nintendo, it's our only relation here with the Golden Thoughts, so I guess I have to do it. In fact, you know that the acceleration of this thing is so bad that you will see how you're supposed to do the start. Like, right there on the first beep, you're supposed to start accelerating. That's how bad the acceleration on this thing is. In any normal machine, you're supposed to normally start accelerating on like the third beep. But on this thing, no, you gotta accelerate on the first one. So, that might be a problem, honestly, because this track, I mean, I tested it and it shouldn't be a problem because it's not a complex track whatsoever. You can even see the layout on the left. It's very simple track. The problem is when we get tracks with very tight corners, because you know, one thing is having bad turning, but another thing is having bad turning and bad acceleration. That's a very bad combination. Because that essentially means that you're gonna lose speed after every single turn, and you're not gonna recover it unless you boost. But if it's a track with a lot of you know, slow corners one after the other, what are you gonna do? I don't know, honestly. But hey, we gotta find out, you know. Ideally, I would have liked picking a machine that was more similar to the Golden Thoughts, but I guess we gotta respect the Dr. Stewart's wishes here. You know, so you will really ask yourself why, after piloting a machine that is so different from this one, it decides to design one that is the polar opposite. Maybe that's precisely why. Maybe canonically the Golden Thoughts doesn't give Dr. Stewart too many wins, so he decides to design the opposite to maybe see if the future generations can get a better result. Alright, so what else? Okay, I'm not sure about that. It feels like already here we might have an issue. You can see that there aren't that many corners, but they are probably enough to be an issue. Yeah, there definitely are. So this might be the very first issue that we get in the game. The problem is that it's only the second track, you know, like it's the second one, not anything out of the ordinary. Well, and keep in mind that another reason why the previous race was so easy, aside from the fact that it's relatively simple in terms of layout, is because there were ground boosters right before the finish line. So any speed that you will lose will very easily will very easily get recovered by that. But here you can only use a boost of your own, and you only have one boost per lap, so this is gonna be problematic. But yeah, those corners are a real issue. And the thing about the boost is that it doesn't even last that long. It's one of the shortest boosts in the game. Okay, on the right side at least it has a decent top speed. It's not fantastic, but it's good enough. Kinda gets the job done a little bit. Corners like that, there's nothing I can do about it. You're gonna suffer them. Though that was a very good corner section right there. Okay. Cannot be overtaken, though at least one good thing that this game has when it comes to try-harding is that you have okay, nice. You have 4 attempts per Grand Prix. 4 spare machines, which is very good. But yeah, I mean, if you are hard stuck in a track, that could matter very little. I mostly expect the difficulty to skyrocket the moment that we get to like the 3rd Grand Prix. That's when I expect this to turn into hell. So we will see, maybe I'm exaggerating, you know? But this is essentially, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's the most unbalanced F-Zero game there is. Like, the difference between the good machines and the bad machines is a lot. That's the reason why when I play this game I never know what to expect, because your experience very, very heavily changes depending on what machine you pick. So that was a complete waste of boost. Kinda forgot that there was boost right afterwards. But I mean ground boost. Well, one good thing about this machine is that when someone hits you or when you hit someone, you have the best strength in the game, which means that you're not gonna lose control because of it. That's a good advantage, but that's also another thing that is a polar opposite of the Golden Fox. The whole point of the Golden Fox is that it's supposed to be a weak machine that if he gets hit, it's gonna hurt you. I also think I was investigating about like the backstory of these machines. It was recommended that for this machine you kinda want to hit mines on purpose, because you're not gonna receive that much damage and you're gonna get launched forward. Seems to be a good trade, apparently. Yeah, I don't know how much of that is true, really. But so far we're doing pretty well. Not bad at all. So this pawn shop, I think I remember it being very easy even with the worst machine in the game, which is... what was the name? Like the one that is like the last one you unlock before the actual last one. That machine sucks. I remember it costing me quite a lot to win the game with that machine. But what I think I remember is this cup being very easy to beat. So this being a smooth experience right now is not really a sign of anything. Okay, this pawn cup can be extremely easy, while everything else can be a pain. Not bad. Well, another thing that I realized basically when I was putting the title of the stream is that the name of this machine is called Silver Thunder, and I guess that's at least a little bit of relation with the Golden Fault, since one is called Golden and the other one is called Silver. But that's about it. That's about the relation it has, aside from Nintendo Power claiming that it was made by Dr. Stewart. I actually corroborated, and that's true. There is an actual Nintendo Power scan that shows, well, when the maximum velocity came out, and the issue says, it basically has a description of every machine, and yeah, it says that this was made by Dr. Stewart, or at least designed by Dr. Stewart. So yeah, if Nintendo Power says it, it has to be canon, right? I actually don't know in other franchises how much they think of the canonicity of whatever is mentioned in Nintendo Power, because I mean, it's an official source, but it's not like it's something that probably had direct developer in, writing, right? So this is one of those where you can die. There is a big chance. Hopefully not that big. Hard to tell. I remember this song very well. Because I always say it's never a good signal. If I remember it, it means that I got stuck in either this track or one of these tracks. Okay, that's bad. We will see. Maybe I'm just being, paranoid. Oh, I think that there what you could do is some sort of pseudo skip. You could fly to the left and essentially skip the corner, but the thing is that this machine doesn't seem to fly very high. I don't think you can do that. I don't know if the flight stat, because I mean there is no flight stat. I'm assuming if it's affected by the vehicle's resistance. Yeah, there is. I don't think you can go to the other side with this thing. You know that you can with other machines, or maybe I'm also confusing it with another one of the Game Boy Advance games. That was a very bad hit. Fine. The good thing is that here you can actually block your opponents, because this thing won't let them pass, and more importantly, it will, you will get a speed boost from these guys bumping into you. Oh, I'm actually receiving quite some damage right now. And obviously having the biggest power meter in the game also means that it will charge the slowest. on the right side that didn't go that badly. So that was pretty clean for the for the first cup, I will say. I think that when it starts throwing multiple tight corners in a row, that's when the difficulty will start. That's when it probably won't be that easy. But I don't know. I mean, hard to tell. But something that is making me wonder how much pain there's gonna be with this machine. Because one thing that I remember about this game is the Stingray being the best machine in the game, pretty much, but this one is quite far from what the Stingray does. So yeah, might be a problem, but we will see. So I like how pawn on the top right is written, it's pretty much two vertical lines, but with the middle line in a different place, you know. Yeah, thankfully here we can actually skip the credits. No need to watch them if you don't want to. Alright, on to this thing. On night. One thing I remember is that last time that I played this game, this was the hardest series to beat. Well, it's not that I remember, but I look at my video of beating this with like a very bad machine, and this one is the one that I could beat at last. So I'm a little bit afraid. I don't really want to alter the order here though. Even if this one costs me a lot, I still want to most likely do it first. I also keep forgetting the name of that machine that I'm talking about. Something like Hyper Vermilion or something like that. I don't know exactly. But it's basically a machine that is so bad that there is zero reason to pick it. I mean, outside of you being a masochist, I guess. Or really wanting to increase the difficulty of the game. I mean, that's a valid reason, I guess. There's something pretty interesting in the F-Zero series that seems to be a constant. You know that acceleration, that obviously is what allows you to reach a higher speed faster, right? But the thing is that in F-Zero, it seems that in every game, it also has the inverse logic as well. Like, it makes you reach your top speed faster, but that applies on if you are going slower or if you are going faster than your top speed. So essentially, when you are past your top speed, the speed will go down faster if you have good acceleration and slower if you have bad acceleration. And that seems that it's something that applies to every F-Zero game, or at least that's what I noticed. This car with the absolute trash acceleration it has, it's, you know, it maintains the boost speed for a while. And that is not because the boost itself lasts for a while, but rather it just maintains the speed for a while. Okay, I also remember this track being extremely hard with that machine that I mentioned previously, but I think that ironically this machine that I'm using right now should make this a non-issue. It really should make it a non-issue. Mostly because of these ground boosters. These ground boosters are so well positioned that for the most part the only slow section you're gonna have is right after them, but not by much really. I feel like what I remember being the worst part about this track was that previous machine that I mentioned had very bad maximum power, so it basically got destroyed for nothing. Especially in those crossroads, if you hit someone else on those crossroads, I remember it losing a lot of power. That doesn't seem to be the case here. It seems like it is very smooth sailing, without a doubt. Very, very smooth. Okay, that was a waste of boost. Was absolutely no reason to use the boost there. So there aren't that many places in this track where you kinda wanna use boost. Most of the places either have a ground boost or they have like sharp corners that will make you not really make use of it. I guess on the main straight is one of the only fitting places to use your personal boost. Most likely. And these guys cannot overtake. You know that when I first tried this machine, I thought it was gonna be absolute garbage. Because the combination of bad acceleration plus bad handling is theoretically very bad, but with how well it handles the boost, it will have to be a very specific track to make this thing go down. So far it's showing that even in a supposedly hard track it does very, very well. And maybe I'm speaking too soon, you know? It's one of those things where you need to learn when to not say anything. Just wait for it. Wait until you actually get far into the game. And then you can claim that this machine is amazing and you can throw all the praises you want. For now, stay humble. Yeah, for example, a track like this one with no ground boosters gonna be a lot more tough to maintain the lead than the other ones. Oh, that's fine. The issue is that I see myself losing a lot of positions in every lap, basically. Well, the good thing is that if I hit one of these guys by accident, they will also slow down, but this track might be problematic. Some of these corners are essentially impossible to do them fully well using these cars. You basically just do what you can. Being slowed down by so many things. But yeah, One thing that I can confirm for sure is that this thing does not fly very well. It barely gets raised in the air after a ramp. So I don't think that's gonna be a problem mostly, but one thing worth taking into account. The issue is that I completely lost sight of the third place. I cannot even see it close to me. That is a problem. Yeah, this might be an issue, and the problem is that if you look at the layout of the track, it's not even that complex. It just doesn't have ground boosters, but kinda makes me scared for the ones that are actually a lot more complex. Might be a problem. But hey, it is good to see that there will be some difficulty, because in each of the previous tracks, like, every race looked extremely free to win. So now that we actually have some resistance, at least we know that the whole thing is not gonna be free. These guys don't even go through the pit lane. Yeah, a lot of them don't care. I don't even remember if in this game the AI could die, because this is the game that is the most similar to the original F-Zero, with the fact that you don't really have a tournament with standings. You just have races where you need to get into the podium to beat, and then you also have the fact that, well, because of that, the fact that someone dies is not really important, aside from, I guess, getting it out of the way. But I don't know if they will hold that logic just for that. So you can see that sometimes these guys actually do try to go for the pit lane, but I don't know if that's simply performative to make the AI look like, you know, more player-like, or if they are actually replenishing their health. I do remember that in the other Game Boy Advance games the AI can die, and most of the times you want that to be the case, just like in F-Zero Eds and in Shiets as well. Until I see one of these guys blow up, I wouldn't be sure. Any of you guys wants to be a volunteer? Any of you want to blow up? Doesn't seem like they are gonna blow up. Getting in the way like that. So the good thing is that I'll get the booster after this corner, and that should be it. Yeah. Relatively clean result compared to the previous attempt, at least. I mean, after all, here second, third, or first do not matter whatsoever. You just need to at least get in the podium. Alright, what's this track? Huh. Yeah. Oh fuck, I forgot to... nice start. I completely forgot to accelerate. You can see how, well, that's a good demonstration of how extremely slow this thing is to accelerate. In case you needed a demonstration, but yeah, there you have it. Well, this is the ice track. At least it has ground boosters. So, I mean, any track that has ground boosters is probably not gonna be an issue to win with this. It might be wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. If you see ground boosters, you can basically rest assured that you're most likely gonna win. And I mean, after such a bad start like that one, I think that I'm doing quite well, all things considered. Time to activate the boost. And that's the other thing about ground boosters, that they essentially make you save on personal boost, so a lot of times you can just get out of bad situations by not doing anything other than using your own boost. So pretty hard though with the handling that this thing has, reaching the second booster after the corner. I saw one of the generic opponents die. I think that's simply because those guys suck. Basically. Like, those guys can die if they have no repercussion on the races. Oh wow, that was a very unfortunate interaction. Okay. If I play better, I could have won that race. I guess I didn't play very well, but it's fine. Also, you know, some of the other times showed up as blinking, so that means that it was an actual record, like a save record, like it was my fastest lap or total time. So that's nice. Wait, I don't know, is this the right path? Actually, I don't remember what strategy I follow here at all. I don't think it really matters with this car. I will assume probably the one with the champ is the place that I want to go. Also, how is it going, Wasabi? You say that there is a problem with the frame rate? There could be, yeah. I mean, it runs at 60 frames per second, but you say that it's... Well, the map disappearing makes sense if it goes down to 30 frames per second, but it's a shame that... Is it too bad, though? Is it actually bad enough that it doesn't let you see what's going on? That would be a shame. But I don't know. The map the stream is fine. Okay. Well, I don't think I can do much about what you mentioned though. Because... I mean, I simply capture the game and, you know, I didn't do anything else. So if it doesn't work, I'm afraid there's no much I can do myself. I could try window capture, but I don't see that being better. I remember SNES having the same issue where I set it to 60 frames per second, but it hard caps to 30 for no reason. Yeah, it could be. I mean... It's unfortunate, but yeah, I don't think that I can do anything about it. So yeah, sorry about that. Cause yeah, as I was saying, I don't think window capture will make this better. Probably. So yeah. Well, I also kinda seen that in yesterday's game, which is F-Zero Edge, that I think there were some cases where... wait, hold up. This thing is actually getting hotter. There were some cases where the frame rate dropped to below 60. I don't know if it was 30 or less, but it might be that this one is going slower than what I'm seeing. Well, thanks for telling me. It's just that unfortunately I do not think I can fix it, you know. But yeah, sorry about that. But I'll try. Guess it might not be something related to the game, but it might be something related to OBS in general. If it already happened with 2 games, I think that we can circle OBS as the issue. Probably. I don't know. The map disappearing means that since the map is essentially probably blinking every frame, if the emulator at some point gets to, you know, a lower frame rate, it can be an issue. I also didn't change any OBS settings, so I also don't know what will be causing the issues. Hopefully not caused by an OBS update, but wouldn't be able to confirm that. Just hope it's not the case. And I will try window capture. I think that setting it up to be center will be a little bit of a pain in the ass. I think I rather not do that on stream. But window capture has never really been a better idea for me. Maybe it is here, who knows. I mean, at least according to OBS, window capture is never a better idea than game capture, but who knows. I mean, I think that as long as you can understand what's going on the screen, even though it's not ideal, I think it's fine. Like, if you can tell that I'm, you know, going through a corner, overtaking and that stuff. Well, not to mention that this game running a lower frame rate will be beneficial for the bitrate. This is one of those games that is probably very bad in the bitrate department. That could be a blessing in disguise. You know, I remember that I say that we will get some resistance here, but I'm not really seeing it. You might be able to actually beat this game for absolute free with this machine. After all, seems a little bit. It seems like I will need a plan B for today. After all, not particularly a fan of that. Seems that a plan B might be needed. Might be. Who knows? Still think that blue revolver as a plan B is a good idea. I could also do the whole. Remember the Gran Turismo 3 endurances? But no, I don't think I feel like doing that. I think especially not after playing this game. Oh, I actually... Hold up. Oh, I lost. I probably should have boosted earlier. Okay. See, I got too cocky. The game smells. The game smells when you get cocky. And you know. It does that. Oh really? That was too late for the accelerator? I was not expecting that. Yeah, apparently too late. Apparently a little bit too late. That bad start will cost me quite a bit here. Well, the third place is there, so if I can manage to stay ahead of him, we'll be fine. But at least I was thinking about the mini-map here. At the very least, I think that since the minimap doesn't really show where the first place is or anything like that, like I'm pretty sure that the other Game Boy Advance games do, I don't think there's much of there's nothing that you are missing by not seeing the minimap. It will be nice to be able to see it though. Do you know that I also seen cases of some games that I played and essentially while the video, like after I stop streaming, while the video is processing, it's like the frame rate is bad. I think the example of that was with the Gran Turismo 4 games. I might be wrong about that though, but there was one game I remember playing, and while I was waiting for the for the game to get processed, it's like the frame rate was very bad, but the moment it actually processed the whole thing and solidified as a video, yeah. Okay, I remember this thing. This track essentially has boosters on one side and pit lane on the other. There is essentially no reason to go for the pit lane whatsoever with a machine like this, so the important thing here is remembering the side. So it's essentially left on the first one, either on the second one, and right on the last one. That seems to be the idea. Getting a lap car getting your way in one of those conveyor belts is something. Didn't mean to go there, but I forgot. My bad. My memory is a little bit bad sometimes. Wrong side again. How can your memory be so spectacularly bad? Got the victory at least. And with one boost that I didn't even use. Would have done it faster even. Yeah, that was not a record on anything. Makes sense. Oh, also, since you mentioned having that issue with an SNES emulator, my question is if you found any fits. Aside from switching emulator, which would be quite a fit. I mean, technically it is a fit for the stream. That one corner will be the biggest issue here. Oh, and another thing about the 30 frames is that if you are watching on a low resolution, it takes you down to 30 frames per second, which will mean that whatever gets streamed doesn't matter much. It will always get a cap there. That can happen a lot, for example, if you're on mobile. If you have automatic resolution, it takes it down. Very much you can do. You know, I do believe that it might be something related to the stream. I mean, the only way to see is by looking at the VOD. The stream stopped for a little bit. And what's up with you two and wanting to sabotage F-Zero streams? What did F-Zero do to you? Unbelievable. I mean, not like I did anything amazing while it had that little interference, but unbelievable. I'm actually getting sabotage. Though that track wasn't really... Wait, and it happened again? Hold up. It seems like... Huh. Seems that I'm having a lot of interference. For some reason. Is YouTube dying? Maybe that could explain the frame rate problem as well. Because OBS is not telling me that I'm dropping frames or anything like that. A little bit weird that YouTube is having all these issues by itself. Another outage? Well, I don't know. It could be. Hey, that was like 2 disconnections in 2 minutes. That's a very bad outlook, if you ask me. That's quite bad. And that is definitely not related to me. That is absolutely not related to me. Yeah, I know, the one you mentioned a couple days ago, just that was a different type of outage. This one, I don't know, could be. I mean, I usually assume that when YouTube from like the editor control panel, that it says that it's not receiving data, I automatically assume that it's a YouTube issue, unless OBS also says that. But OBS is not saying that, so it cannot be OBS. So I guess on the right side, all these technical issues that we are mentioning, at least I'm glad that they are happening in something that doesn't seem to be that hard to do at all. Like beating the game with this machine does not seem to be a problem whatsoever. Obviously I would prefer to not have any technical issues, but it would bother me if I was playing Shiets and I was having these issues. Oh, I'm getting on low power, really? That was a very bad time to activate. I blew it. I should have done it after that corner. Completely blew it. Though I'm also surprised that the machine's power went so low. It's supposed to be like the most resistant machine in the game, you know? And it almost died. But yeah. That's kind of a bad signal. That's fine. Honestly, I'm more scared about YouTube than this machine losing power, you know? YouTube is the real menace here. I remember when I used to complain all the time about my internet acting up and not allowing me to stream in peace. But here it seems that my internet is behaving like a saint, and the one to blame is the actual streaming service. And here we're talking about YouTube, you know? If we were talking about some, I don't know, if I was streaming in Kick for example, I guess I couldn't complain because yeah, you're streaming in something that is not backed by essentially the biggest company in the world, right? But yeah, when it comes to YouTube, there's not much you can do. Like, if YouTube is not going well, theoretically it could go both ways, because it might be backed by the biggest company in the world, but at the same time, that matters very little if there is so much traffic that the servers get actually saturated. And YouTube, of course, is the streaming platform with the most traffic, of course. So it also will make sense if it starts having problems, I guess. That was still free. Only took one more attempt, but it's fine. Well, so it seems that we're gonna beat everything on the first try so far. Pretty interesting. I do remember the final cap being a little bit annoying, but I think that with this thing we should be fine. Because I think that what I remember being the most annoying thing is that your car could get destroyed very fast, but that should not be a problem with this thing. So we're probably fine. most likely. I guess I have to start thinking of a plan B right now, because it's actually closing out pretty quickly. This challenge. Well, this challenge that is not really much of a challenge with how easily this thing is winning, you know. Really not much of a challenge at all, but it's fine. I mean, maybe the final one will be the hardest. Wouldn't be the first time that I did almost everything super quickly and then on the final one I take so many attempts. I honestly doubt that's gonna be the case. This machine just seems like it's made for winning. But especially if the first track is this one. If the first track is this one, pretty hard to not win. In fact here, the real issue will be not using a machine like this. You even have the ground boosters. And none of the corners is sharp enough to be an issue. Is this supposed to be Mute City in the future or something? But looking at the size, it doesn't really look like a city in the first place. Not sure what it looks like. Probably not a city. Nice clash. Well, if you want to know if the AI can die or not, the perfect place to test it is on those champs. And trying to push them out of the track. Probably the best thing you can do. Oh, that was close. Nice. Well, free win, basically. Absolutely free win. I don't know how long that's gonna last. Maybe not much. Oh, I remember this track. That you essentially have to know where to aim. I don't think aiming is gonna be the issue. Keep in mind that this thing heavily suffers from jumping too low. It's just that the jump is gonna be high enough to at least reach the other side of the platform. So, yeah. It would only be a problem if you're going slow enough, but using... Okay, no, never mind. Using a boost shouldn't be a problem here because you have those magnets that push you down. This is a track with that one jump you had a really clutch save on. Yeah, that's when I was streaming on Twitch. I don't remember if Draynor put that in the daily dose channel or not. I do remember it being a clip. on Twitch. Yeah, it was a very tight save. He did? Nice. It's the type of track that if you're playing it for the first time, it can be an issue. Well, to be fair, it wasn't the first time I played it, so that really wouldn't apply there, but I think I'm very outside of where I was supposed to jump, so I needed to correct that very quickly. Then again, nice. You know that the transmission had a hiccup on the part that I died, so I don't know if you actually saw how I died or not. Pretty funny. Well, basically I was out to jump and I crashed against someone. Hey, I don't know what's going with YouTube today, like what's going on, but I really should stop doing these little things, these little disconnections. Or do I have to switch platforms? Though, ironically, hey, by going to a smaller platform, like some shit like Gig, ironically, since there is less competition, it might be possible that I could reach a bigger audience. I doubt it, because it's not about the lack of competition, but rather about being able to what's the expression? To stand out. I don't think I will stand out at all. If you want to stand out, you gotta do something truly special. And playing video games is not particularly special in the streaming world, so I heavily doubt it. Yeah, I can guarantee that this is all YouTube's fault. Like, OBS is not having these problems. It's all purely on YouTube. I mean, yesterday's problem was definitely my internet, but this problem today, I just gotta blame YouTube for it. That mine actually gave me some speed. No, okay. What happened there is pretty much almost what happened on the previous death. So in case it didn't show up on stream, that's what happened. It's just that I actually died instead of surviving like that. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Like one of the lap guys got in front of me and I couldn't make the jump. No worries. It's not gonna happen again. Trust. Okay, not happening again. If I die, it won't be on this track. Oh yeah, losing a spare machine that early on is kind of a bad signal. Because some of these other tracks are very messed up as well, so... yeah, ain't very good. We will see. Okay, this is the one with the spinning tornadoes. This one is hard if you get absorbed by one of those things. Shouldn't be hard to dodge. Keep in mind that the handling on this machine is not very good, which means that dodging this kind of stuff will be harder. I'm surprised though that I still haven't gotten hit by any of them. Or did I really suck that many balls when I played this back then that I got hit by so many of them? Right now I'm not even getting close to that. Like I'm perfectly dodging everything. Huh. Well, that's weird. Guess I really sucked that much balls before then. Okay, I did hit one. Only one so far. Only one. Okay, now it's two. I guess I spoke too soon. But I still can win though. Unless I overtake. That should be fine. Well, when I say win, I mean beat the race. Not win, technically. That wasn't winning. Also, how is it going column? No, you do. Oh yeah, Firefield. Was this the game that had Firefield twice? Like after this it has another Firefield? Can't remember. Maybe. I feel like it had two Firefields. Top shot hit that message. Understandable. Pretty understandable. Still can't believe that top chat is even a thing though. There are so many bad things about YouTube chat that are essentially there for like as a self-decision, right? Like they are bad because they wanted to put them there and essentially make them bad. I just felt like it. Doesn't look like a very promising result right now. Might be wrong. The thing is that this car is so fast that even if you technically make a lot of mistakes, it doesn't matter. You can simply breeze through your opponents without much effort at all, so... I guess that, well, yeah, I was right that Firefield was the second to last and the last one. This one is the one that had the weird conveyor belts, right? I think it might be the case. I also remember struggling with this truck a lot. I don't think this will be the case here. I feel like the struggle in a lot of these tracks just simply comes from the fact that the max speed of some of the cars is absolutely terrible. That's essentially it. Nothing more, nothing less. To mention that here, when you start losing speed because of a bad corner, you can simply boost. They actually, this machine seems to, well, I still think that the Stingray is probably better, but this machine is just very good. Mostly very good because you can do very well despite potentially driving very badly. You could make 100 mistakes that doesn't seem to matter too much as long as you use this machine. So I personally think that it might be one of the best ones. You see, that was pretty free. Like, extremely free even, so... Dang. I don't know what to say. That was pretty... non-challenging. I guess in this game, most of the unlockable machines basically obliterate the initial machines. I think that the real challenge is beating the master cups with the first 4 machines. But with these ones, it seems that you can do that without much trouble at all. And I wasn't expecting it to be that smooth like it was here. It really was smooth. But the problem is that now I have to think of a plan B, and I don't have a plan B. I could, for example, try to play these same cups with another car, I guess, but do I wanna do that? I'm gonna let the credits roll, I guess, because at the end of the credits, it's the only time where you can see the portrait of the character. So otherwise, the only other way is by going to the wiki or looking at like a Nintendo Power issue. But the game, just like in the original F-Zero, like you don't have any way of looking at the characters. You can only look at the machines. In fact, you don't even know the name of the pilots. Like you have to consult material outside of the game. Maybe the manual that came with the game has it. It's hard to tell though. Something tells me that it probably wasn't, but who knows. I do know that the first F-Zero manual on the SNES did have the design of the characters. It even had like some comic book stripes. This one, I have no clue. In fact, you know what? I don't even know what was the case of a Game Boy Advance game. I don't even know where they came because I never owned a Game Boy Advance. So, I mean, I know that it's essentially like a cartridge, but I don't know the case that cartridge comes with, how it looks like. But it most likely, just like any case, it has enough room to like fit a manual in there. It's the most likely scenario. But yeah, I don't know. It was a bot. Damn, nice data, dude. It was about, yeah, like essentially every other cover. Thanks. Thanks for the information. I mean, well, I don't know. Because the thing is that let's say that, for example, the PS1 covers that were more of a CD cover rather than something you would call a bot. But I think that calling it bots is a little bit generic, you know? It was a bot, yeah. With what shape? A cube shape? Like rectangular shape like PS2? A bot? A little bit weird, I guess, to have a... Well, it could be like the Sega Genesis, a square bot. That's a missed opportunity, because they should have done that with the GameCube. That is an actual cube. It could actually, you know, fit better. I guess the Game Boy Advance kinda has like a square shape. Well, not really a square, but it's like, it looks squarey enough, I guess. Well, the screen is a square, pretty much. Well, a rectangle to be precise, but yeah. Come on, show me the character. Okay, there you go. Gonna show up. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, apparently this guy has absolutely nothing to do with Dr. Stewart, but the machine was made by Dr. Stewart. So yeah, I don't know why they didn't make it a descendant of Dr. Stewart like they did with Captain Falcon and the Blue Falcon, but yeah. Well, regardless, that was all of the Master Caps, I guess. So, GG's.